Now, Russia has said that it has successfully tested its new Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, a strategic weapon President Vladimir Putin said had no analogues elsewhere and would provide food for thought for those who try to threaten Russia amid the ongoing war with Ukraine. To help us understand what this really means, and how should the world be viewing this development? We are joined by Maroof Raza, Times Network's consulting editor. Maroof, good evening. Could you decode this development from Russia for our viewers? What does it mean for the crisis that's going on between Russia and Ukraine? And how should the world see this?
Well, on the face of it, it appears like a PR exercise by President Putin when they haven't had the kind of success that they were boasting about or they were hoping for in their war in Ukraine. The Ukrainians have held on miraculously, actually, well beyond the expectations of any analyst, including their supporters in the Western world, against the firepower that Russians have brought to bear. But the Russians have done this kind of messaging in the past, where you might remember that at the start of the Russian invasion, President Putin had said that, if Russia's invasion was interfered with or stopped, it would have consequences that the world hasn't quite imagined. And then the former Russian president and Mr. Putin's right-hand man, Mr. Medvedev, had also gone on to throw up the nuclear dimension, which always exists when a country with nuclear weapons and the kind of stockpiles that Russia has gets into a conflict and the possibility of the others interfering. But a thumb rule is that when you have nuclear weapons and you are faced with an adversarial lot, which can also bring to bear nuclear weapons, then it's highly unlikely you'll ever use it. Russia has the world's largest stockpile of nuclear warheads, close to 6,000 nuclear warheads, of which 1,600 or so are always at a state of continuous alert, strategic alert, as they call it. The Americans, on the other hand, has about 5,500 warheads, 500 short of Russia. But America is backed also by the warheads that France and Britain can bring to bear in the event of a major standoff. But a thumb rule for nuclear weapons is, if you have it, you can only flout it, but you can't use it, because the counter-use and counter-use would lead to the end of the world. Currently, the stockpiles with America and Russia put together is enough to blow up the world at least 25 times over. So, this is all big talk. Basically, Russia's final report card will be read on the basis of what it has achieved on the ground. As yet, it has fallen well short of expectations.
Right.
The same way the Americans fell well short of expectations in Afghanistan, despite all their high-tech weaponry. So a basic rule is that if you need success in ground operations, you have to get down onto the ground and fight and occupy the land. You cannot use high-tech weapon systems beyond the point to give you any further advantage. So I consider this all a big boast by Mr. Putin. I don't take it seriously beyond the point.
All right. Thank you very much, Maroof, for the moment, for joining us and putting things in perspective for our viewers.